Welcome back to Jlunce Reviews. I'm your host, Jlunce, and today we are going to be doing exactly what I said we were going to be doing a few days ago when I said that I would be ranking everything that I watched this year in terms of film. In tier list, from S tier to F tier in this case. I haven't watched this many movies in a single year since like 2019, 2020 maybe, just because I don't know, like got busy, I guess. I used to be a lot more into film than I was music, believe it or not. But and it's not even this year that I've watched that much because I think I got like, you can't see it all the way to the right, but I have like 20 movies here, which isn't really like, isn't a lot for someone who would be like a big film or movie YouTuber, something like that. But it's more than usual for me. I mean, I feel like back in the day in 2019, I probably watched like more like 40 movies in a year, like movies that came out during that year. So this is a pretty big step up. And granted, most of it was during the month of December, was catch up on stuff, but still, I went to the theater quite a bit this year, and some of these movies, and I will say that while I do think it was a pretty great year for music, for a film this year, it was just amazing. Like, probably the best year since maybe 2022. I don't know, maybe that year. I'm not sure. Maybe 2019. I don't know when the last great year was for film, in my opinion, because I haven't watched a whole lot since like 2019. But yeah, let's just get started. I'm not gonna be. I'm kind of just gonna be going off of what I remember from the movies. Some of these I haven't watched since like they came out several months ago. I've rewatched a couple of them, but not many. Yeah, let's just get started. Let's just get started with the first movie on the list. I kind of put everything in release order, or what's close to the released order. Let's start with Captain America: Brave New World. Oh man, Marvel this year was okay. Marvel was actually okay this year, but this was not the best start for them. I did not watch this in theaters when it came out because I kind of knew better. But my curiosity got the best of me when I just kind of was like, one day during the summer, I was like, I'll put it on. Because I do actually like the first three Captain America movies, the trilogy. I think Captain America is a good character. I like his representation as like this hero for America who kind of just realizes that the government is, kind of shady, and he kind of just distrusts the people that he once thought of as his like heroes who he's supposed to protect. It's cool. I just don't think that this movie really justifies being a Captain America movie. It's kind of just like a Hulk movie. There's a lot of things in this movie that tie back to the Edward Norton Hulk movie, which is really weird. It doesn't really make, other than the first like 30 minutes when Sam's friend is like brainwashed, it's kind of like, I don't really see why he need to be in this movie. This doesn't feel like a Captain America movie. And I don't hate Sam Wilson. I think he's okay. It's just that this movie just doesn't really have any legs, anything to do with him, really. And the villain is stupid. He looks stupid. Giancarlo Esposito, I kind of was hoping he'd be kind of cooler, but he's not really in the movie as much as I thought he would be, to be honest. The best part of the movie is, surprisingly, Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk. I mean, there are some times where Ford can be a little bit of like a grumpy old dude these days and kind of just, these movies are so stupid, they're for nerds. I mean, they are. I know he has an opinion about his stuff that he's done that's been a little bit more science fiction heavy, or with a big fan base, but honestly, I like him in this movie. He's very likable as Ross, as President Ross. And I think that the scenes where he's like transforming into the Hulk, or almost transformed into the Hulk, are good and intense. I just think that it's kind of baffling to me that the film thinks that you don't know that Harrison Ford is supposed to turn into Red Hulk. And I don't really know how you can walk into the theater or watch the film and like not know that he is that, because he's all over the posters. The Red Hulk is like in every poster. You see like ads of Harrison Ford just kind of like acting like he's enraged, going into Hulk mode. It's impossible to not know, but this movie treats it like it's the big twist of the movie. It's insane to me. I don't know why the marketing decided to just, I guess because they thought it wouldn't do well if they didn't like have the big like reveal or big notion that Harrison Ford is in the movie. But yeah, this just was not, it wasn't horrible, but it was so mid. It was so mid. It was just really stupid. I just did not care for this movie at all. Also, this is out of order. Let me really quickly just change this. This is bothering me. I don't know why this is there and this is there. Either way, I don't really, also my Grammarly is just chilling here. Let's put that down there. Perfect. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, this movie was just kind of it wasn't horrible, but it was just so dumb. I'm just going to put it in D tier. It could have been way worse. It's probably a high D tier if I'm being like fair and honest, but it just didn't do much for me. I just don't care. I don't care about this movie. But next we have Black Bag, which was a film that I did hear about, didn't watch in theaters. I wish I did, because apparently it didn't do as well as people thought it would, considering it's a Steven Soderbergh movie, and he did the Ocean's movies. And I like his style. I think it definitely fits this kind of thriller espionage, who kind of leaked the information sort of vibe, sort of tone. It's very breezy. It's very quick. It does not waste its time with like a super long globe-trotting adventure, but it's a good enough movie. It's just it's not like super special, but I like it. It's good. I also like the interrogation scene with the whole lie detector thing. That scene was pretty well done. Had a lot of good dialogue too. Yeah, enjoyable movie. You can throw this on and just, kind of relax and have a nice, kind of intense, but also kind of charming hour and a half of just good spy action, spy thrills. Go watch it. It's good. Then we have this is right here. So we had The Amateur, which is right after, came up pretty soon after Black Bag, I think, which is basically just Black Bag, but like slightly worse. I don't really think that this movie is terrible. It's just a very kind of bland. It's okay. It's just not really that. It's colder. It's not as interesting. I think that Rami Malek as this character is kind of a cool idea. I kind of want him to do more roles like this, but honestly, I kind of forgot everything about this movie. It's not bad. You could spend your 2 hours in a worse way. That's not the way to phrase that correctly, but sorry, I have a cold, but whatever. I'm just gonna put it in C tier. I have like almost nothing to say about this movie. It's like a C. Throw it in the C tier. Okay, Sinners next. Alright, now this is gonna get me in a lot of hot water, I think, because I was not the biggest fan of this movie. And I know that a lot of people were, and I know that it was like the big cultural event of the year, kind of, next to like maybe this movie down here. But I just don't think this movie worked for me 100% of the time. I think that there are elements of it that are really... I saw this with a friend of mine in theaters, and we were both just kind of put off by the way in which this movie tries to juggle like 5 different genres. It starts off as this kind of like... sort of like a comedy. Well, the opening minutes, not really. The opening minutes are this kind of compelling like thriller horror scene. But then it's sort of a comedy at first when the two Smoke twins, played by Michael B. Jordan, both of them come into town, and they come from New York, and they're like throwing like a big like I forget what the whole thing is. They're throwing a big party. And, it's not... The setup is okay. It's just the comedy doesn't really work for me most of the time. And the comedy kind of stays in spurts throughout the rest of it. And then it's just like a drama about, like, the people that the Smoke twins used to know. And they bring the people over to this party. And then it turns into, like, this musical. and then it turns into a horror movie, and then it turns into like a mystery, and then it turns into an action movie at the end. It's just all over the place. It doesn't really stick to one genre. I know it kind of sounds cool to have like a movie that skirts the line between a bunch of different ideas. Doesn't really do any of them exceptionally well, except for the music. The music in this movie, the whole musical scene where they're all dancing in the barn and it's going through like different eras of music and like shifting through time and like having this whole comparison between like art and the history and the Black history as well. It's awesome. That scene is freaking sick. I love the music in this movie. It is awesome. And the acting is really good in spurts too. I think Michael B. Jordan did a good job as the twins. I think Haley Steinfeld's good too. I just don't really think that this movie really... It didn't hit me as hard as I wanted it to. And I mean, I just feel like the themes or the message of the movie wasn't really as... I know a lot more people, I guess, felt more engaged by it than I did. The comedy certainly landed for people in the theater. It was not landing for me, unfortunately. I had an okay... It was okay to me. And it wasn't like a bad time at the theater or anything. I just wish it was better. And I love Ryan Coogler. You know, Fruitvale Station and Creed are both just great movies. I love those movies so much. And Fruitvale Station especially, that movie hits hard when you watch that movie. That movie really makes you hate the people that are associated with the events that happen in the later portion of the movie. I won't spoil that movie either, but I don't know. I'm gonna put C tier. That's probably it's better than The Amateur. I'll say that. I'll put C tier. I know that people are gonna be mad about that, but I don't care. I'm putting it C tier. Jesus. Let's go with Thunderbolts next. Thunderbolts was the second Marvel movie of the year, and I thought it was pretty good. I think that this group together, the Thunderbolts, or the New Avengers is what they're calling them, I guess, nowadays, they're charming, they're fun together. I like them. I like the Red Guardian. I like Yelena. I think that Florence Pugh plays her very well. She's good. I like her a lot. I think she has that high charisma that a lot of Marvel actors need to be likable amongst the big Marvel audience, including myself. I like Marvel. The only parts of this movie I thought were kind of dumb were that, like, I think this movie kind of just is a little bit rushed. Like, it takes place over, 2 days? And the stakes are kind of high, to be honest, in terms of, like, what could have happened if they didn't stop the, what's his name, Sentry, from doing what he does in the film. But I like the setup for him, and I like the characters. I think that this movie is a lot darker than I expected. It deals with topics that Marvel has not really dealt with ever, like suicide and depression, for all these people who have basically become sidelined by society because of what they've done in the past. They're trying to atone for what they've done. I didn't really like the fact that, like, some characters like Taskmaster, I think is the person's name. She gets killed in like the first 5 minutes, and it's like the most unceremonious death I can imagine. Even though she's like on the poster, she's like a big character for this group, I think, but she just doesn't really matter anymore. I don't know. Some of the comedy was a little bit weird in the first half of the film, and I think that I like Julie. Is it Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the lady from Seinfeld? She plays the villain. I think that she's not really like a total crazy insane person, but she's not quite as... She's a little bit more like a snarky... It's almost like she belongs in she's supposed to be the villain of like a rom-com villain or something. I know that sounds really, really mean, but I like her in the movie. It just she doesn't really have the same presence as other villains do have. Even though she's not technically the big villain. I get it. I mean, I liked it though. It was a fun movie. I think the final act is pretty strong. I like the way the movie ends quite a bit. And this group, I want to see this group in more movies. I do. I like this group together a lot. I think Red Guardian is hilarious in this movie too. I think he's awesome. David Harbour does a great job. Let's put a B tier. I'll put a B tier for right now. Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, 8. I think it's the eighth one. I mean, if you want Tom Cruise to be doing some awesome stunts and showcasing some awesome action shit, then I would say this movie is kind of up your alley. It's great. I think that the plot is pretty convoluted, and the movie goes on for too long, and some of the action... No, all the action's pretty great. But like the whole AI plot is a little similar to the last movie, is a little bit like just why do we need to have this? It's so ridiculous at points, and just Tom Cruise is battling an AI is just hilarious to me. I don't know why, but it's good. It's fun. The characters are nice. I like Benji. I like the lady that Haley Atwell plays. I forgot her name. Jesus. I like all the characters. I think the villain is okay too. It's a very solid, fun time at the theater. It's probably B or A. I mean, I do think the final, like the submarine action scene in this movie, where he's like trying to get the missile out by himself, is thrilling. That scene is freaking awesome. That scene is so good. But other than that, I wouldn't say there's anything else in this movie that's like exceptional, like the best action I've ever seen. It's just very good action though. The first like 25 minutes though are really just are kind of whack. Like the whole, he gets captured and then he has to like get into the AI box thing, and then like he just like sees the events that are gonna happen and shit like that. It was so weird. It was like so exposition heavy. The exposition in this movie is not handled the best. I probably would give it like a high B though. A high B, maybe a low A. I don't know though. It's close between those two. I'd say B. It has some really cool moments. This next one though, Bring Her Back. Wow. I just watched this. Like last night I watched it. So I might have a little bit of recency bias. But this movie is incredible. It's probably I only saw, I guess, 2 horror movies this year, or I guess 3. So, whatever. But horror this year was great, though. All 3 horror movies that I saw were great. This one, though, is probably my favorite. It is a horror movie, but it's not like a horror movie in the way that like something like Weapons over here is, or even like 28 Days Later, Years Later, or something like The Conjuring or something like that with those jump scares all the time. I don't know if there's like maybe one kind of jump scare. This movie is just psychologically just so disturbing. This movie is so monumentally fucked up. It's one of the most fucked up movies I've seen in quite a while. Man, I don't know why A24, they really hate children. Every single A24 horror movie that I watch, there's like some kid who gets like really bad stuff happen to them. I don't really know why, but they just do, and it's oh my god, you feel so bad. Good god. But anyway, that's not really a spoiler. I mean, you can kind of see this kid on the cover. That's not really a spoiler at all. You can see what happens there. But there's way more to it than what's shown here. I think that the themes of dealing with like grief and just reeling over the death of a loved one, even if that death may not be I'm diving too much of the movie, but I think the meditations on these themes are really, really good, very compelling, very, very real. They feel so like this could happen to somebody in real life. Not that they would do the things they do after, but it feels like a story that was very personal to the directors, who were former YouTubers, by the way. This is insane. I can't believe that this is what they do. I think it's an Australian movie. But the acting from the there's 3 kids in the movie, and they're all just amazing. And one of them is extremely creepy, like so creepy. Oh man. But yeah, it is. I think Sally Hawkins too is great too. She plays like the lady that the two foster kids visit or come to visit in the beginning of the movie. And you think this character, it's not a spoiler because that's just what the movie's about. You think this character would be like this like stereotypical creepy nanny who like owns the house and like does some weird shit and scares the kids and she's into some shady stuff. But I mean that it's sort of, there's elements of that, but she's not as bloodthirsty as you would think she is. She's, while you would never do the things she's doing, you can understand why a character who might have problems like she does do the things that she does in the movie. And this movie was super intense. I think that the characters are great. I think the struggle is really interesting. I think that the whole supernatural horror elements are really good too. Man, it's the last chunk of this movie was so brutal and so I will be honest, it really got to me. I will say, emotionally, it really hit hard. The ending did, and it is, wow. You just gotta watch it. It's not your standard like this is gonna freak you the fuck out horror movie. It's definitely gonna be with you for a long time. I'm gonna put this in S tier, honestly. There's not a lot that I think is wrong with it, but there is a lot wrong with this next one, Mountain Abbey. So I'm gonna put an F tier immediately. This movie sucked. This movie was garbage. I hated this movie. And I think that I was pretty interested in what Jesse Armstrong would do fresh off of Succession ending, what he would do with a movie that's like not tied to that show at all. And his style and his dialogue and the way he pits his characters against each other in this like kind of pathetic circle jerk with a bunch of rich people is present in this movie, but it's just done in a way worse way. The characters are so unlikable. I know that's what they're supposed to be. I get that they're supposed to be these unlikable, rich billionaires who have no conception of what like everyday people are like and how to control and use the AI chats and the AI models that they're creating, that they've financed, that they've just been riding the success of. I get that. That's kind of the point. That's like the satire they're going for. But it's just, you have to make these characters at least in some way have some sort of thing that tethers you to them, that you can be like, oh, okay, I kind of want to watch what this character does. But I fucking hate these people. They're all such despicable losers. Even like Kendall, here's the thing. Succession, those characters, they're not good people. They're rich assholes. They all are, okay? They're all vying for one position. But even someone like Kendall, who does despicable shit, is a kind of an asshole, it's still played off as a black comedy, and that's what this movie tries to do. But there's still elements to his character that make you like him, that make you feel bad for him. His problems with depression and self-confidence, and when he, in season 1, the thing that happens at the end of season 1, you feel, damn, that's just so, I can't believe that happened, and I feel bad he has to deal with that grief, that guilt. And like even characters like Logan, who is a despicable, horrible dad, but there are some points where you're like, okay, he's kind of right, like the whole make your own pile scene in the beginning of the season 4. I mean, but these characters are just total assholes. The whole point where like they're trying to kill that one dude. I watched this movie like 10 days ago. I forgot the character names. They're trying to like kill that one guy. What's his name? Shoot, Jeff. They're trying to they decide to try to murder Jeff. It's kind of absurd, and I get that's what you're supposed to do in a movie like this, where it's like a satire, black comedy. But nothing really. It should have gone even more absurd to make it more comedic. And the things that the movie discusses are so much darker and have so many like weird undertones that you don't really want to laugh at it. The craziest thing they do is like go to a mountaintop and like put their net worth on a bunch of like markers on their chest and like like scream out into the mountains, and it's just not funny. It doesn't hit. It's weird. It's dumb. This movie just sucked. Don't watch this movie. Jesse was really up his own ass. It's just a bunch of people trying to resemble like other big rich billionaires. Like Venice, I guess, is supposed to be like Elon Musk, and then I guess Jeff is supposed to be like, he kind of feels like a Sam Altman OpenAI kind of guy. I feel like that's what they're going with that character, but he sucks. I hate him. I hate everybody here. They all suck. Don't watch this movie. It's not good. F tier. Then we have How to Train Your Dragon live action. This movie was fine. It was whatever. I just don't get why this movie is being so praised, even though it's essentially just, it is literally just the original animated movie, but in live action form. And it's not even like really good live action. The biggest problem with this movie, other than the fact that what I just said, but one of my actual biggest gripes is I don't think that the CG, like the way the dragons look, is just a little bit weird. Like I don't think that how the dragons, like Toothless, really can be made into live action without retaining, or while retaining like the cat-like cuteness that he has in that movie, the original movie. Like, he just looks so off next to the humans in this. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I guess you get used to it, but it's just not. I don't like it at all. It doesn't fit. It feels weird. It looks weird. Some of the actors are good. I like the kid who plays Fish Legs. I think he did a good job. I like that Gerard Butler gets to just play stoic in live action form. Why not? The kid who plays Hiccup is okay, I guess, and so is the girl who plays Astrid. They're fine, but they're not like as good or emotive as their cartoon counterparts, their animated counterparts. I feel like. I think in the original movie, the voice actor who plays Hiccup still kind of gave him this like likable nerdiness and like endearingness that would like them endeared you to him. This like kind of nerdiness that I liked a little bit more. This one, he kind of just feels like a young kid. I don't know. It's not that great. It's okay. The dialogue is almost the exact same. Like the scene where Stoic tells. And I'm gonna spoil the movie because you haven't seen this movie. I don't know how you haven't seen the original movie. It's the exact same, so don't go watch it. Like the scene where Stoic is telling Hiccup like, "You're not my son. You lied to me." Exact same dialogue. The scene where the scenes where he's talking to Toothless in the pit are the exact same. It's like beat for beat, shot for shot, almost the exact same at points, with like a few tweaks in the dialogue, I think. It's just crazy to me. It's like probably a C, but because of how creatively bankrupt it is, I'm gonna put it in like D tier. It's high D though. It's probably a C in actuality, but I don't really care. 28 years later, another great horror movie this year. I'm gonna put into, I think, I'll think about it, but it's probably gonna be A tier. I probably would have had it originally in S tier when it first came out. I thought it was my favorite movie of the year. I rewatched it, and it is a little bit less. It's a little bit more. I won't say predictable. I mean, it is predictable because I've seen it twice, but it doesn't hit quite as hard when you watch it the second time, because 28 Days Later definitely has that watchability where you watch it again and it's like visceral every single time. This one, since it's like it's a similar sort of story, and the characters aren't quite as interesting, it kind of just loses a little bit of its flavor. In the theater, it was awesome, but at home, I don't think it quite hits the same to me. I think the new stuff with like the alphas and the new mutations of the infection are really interesting. I like the way they play with that stuff. I think that Ray Fiennes as the Doctor is interesting. I think he's a good character that will be I hope will be more focused on in the second movie. I like Spike a lot. I think he's a really good central kid to be following in the film. I think his struggle to get his mom medicine was simple, yes, and not like the best plot ever, but it worked. I think it was a good emotional core. And there are some scenes in this movie that are still really funny. Like the whole scene where that British soldier that like is trapped on the island with him is like showing pictures of like his he's like showing pictures of this girl that he's dating, and Spike's like, "What's that shit on her lips?" And it's like it's so good. Oh, that joke was really funny. You gotta watch the movie, but oh man. The movie, the way it's shot is just almost identical to 28 Years Later, where it's very grainy and old cameras. It's shot on iPhone, I think, which makes the scenes even more visceral. The camera work is really good. I just love the way that Danny Boyle films this world. I mean, 28 Days Later was one of my favorite movies, so I was glad this movie was a suitable follow-up to that. I mean, 28 Weeks Later, I guess. But anyway, great movie. Loved it. Soundtrack from Young Fathers was awesome. Godspeed You Black Emperor drop was sick too, just like 28 Days Later. I'd go watch it. It's awesome. It's great. If you like 28 Days Later, I see no reason why you won't like this. I do see why if you don't love that film though, this won't really do that much for you. But still, I go watch it. It's awesome. It's great. F1 was okay. I think F1 is a fine movie. I wasn't all that impressed by it. I guess if you're more into Formula One, you will be more interested and engaged in what's going on. But I just think that the editing, the cinematography for the races was great. It was really good. I do think that was the racing scenes the best part of the movie. They're really, really cool. But I don't think that the story was all that great. I think it was very predictable, like extremely predictable to me at least. And some of the dialogue was just not it felt like first draft to me. And I feel like Brad Pitt, maybe he cared, but I feel like he was sort of sleepwalking through some of this movie. Like, he definitely I think he is passionate about this stuff, but it doesn't really come through in the scenes where he's not racing. I think he knows what he's doing. I think he watches the sport probably, but I don't know. I learned some stuff about F1, which is kind of cool, and like some of the technology is interesting, and it's all right. I don't know. It's not my thing, I guess. It's more for people who like F1 who want to see a cool summer blockbuster. It's not a bad movie. It's fine. The editing though in this movie is atrocious at points. I'll try to put it on screen if I can find it, but there's this scene where he meets the pit crew for the first time, where Brad Pitt's character like meets the pit crew, and they're all like talking, and it cuts like 20 times in like 10 seconds. I swear. It's like that scene. It's like that infamous scene in Bohemian Rhapsody where they're at that table and it's like a minute long scene and it cuts like freaking 60 times some bullshit. I don't remember, but it's kind of like that. It's just, the editing is atrocious at points. Like for the dialogue scene, it's so weird. I don't know why that happened, but either way, C tier. It's fine. It's whatever. Superman was great. Probably, I kind of expect it to be at least pretty good because it kind of needed to be for James Gunn to start his whole new DC lineup of movies. I think that there are points where the CG looks a little bit wonky, and I think that the movie feels a little bit... I kind of wish that the beginning wasn't so, like, doesn't plop you into what's happening so immediately. It kind of was a little bit of, like a auspicious sort of opening, where you're kind of thrown into whatever Superman's dealing with and doesn't really feel as natural as it should. And it's not, the comedy doesn't always land, but it usually did for me. I thought it was a very charming, pretty funny movie at points, especially Guy Gardner. I thought he was really funny. I thought the whole Lanterns squad was great. Yeah, it was a very fun movie. Probably the best Superman movie. And, I mean, honestly, the cast is great in this film. I think David Corenswet is great as Superman. He is, like, the definitive Superman for me now, like, by far. I mean, Christopher Reeve, he was good. Henry Cavill was okay, and so was, I guess, Shoot. Who was the other guy? Brandon something? Is it Brandon? I don't remember. For Superman Returns. He is great. He's cool. He's charming. He's funny. I like him a lot. He's great as Superman. So is Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane. She's hot. I mean, she's great as as Lois Lane. And also, I think it's I think that Nicholas Hoult is such a hateable piece of crap in this movie, but he plays Lex Luthor amazingly. I think he's great as this character. I love how hateable he is. And I think that his hatred for Superman is really believable in terms of like what he believes is like inferior to the human race and whatever like how you want to say about him. But either way, God, this cold, bro. Great movie. I'll put it in. I think B tier or A tier, one of the two. I'll say A for right now. I think it earns the A tier. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic Four. Another pretty solid Marvel movie this year. Could have been longer. I mean, I don't know why this movie felt so short. Like, a Silver Surfer gets like 10 minutes of screen time, I feel like, and she's not developed as much as she should be for her like switch back to the good side to be believable. I mean, the story, feels very safe, this movie. Like, it felt like the director and the writer, whoever they were like, had a gun to their head from Kevin Feige and was like, if you don't make this movie at least pretty good, we're gonna just, your career is done. We're gonna kill your career. That's kind of what it felt like. So they didn't really like swing for the fences or go for something really crazy. Like, I heard that Pedro Pascal wanted to do like this like interesting, like not interesting, like funny, like North Atlantic 1950s actor accent. And that I feel like would have been kind of fun. I feel like that would have fit the 60s and 50s aesthetic really nice, which does look great. I do think the production design of this movie is awesome. I love the way that everything looks, and that's really cool. I think this group of four is cute together. I think some of the comedy is a little bit annoying, some of it, but I think that for the most part, Human Torch and the Thane and Susan and Reed are all pretty good in the movie. They all have pretty good chemistry. I believe this family as like a family. I think they're good. They're cute together. Really the best part of the movie, honestly. I mean, Galactus is pretty cool. I do like the way they handle Galactus, but I kind of think that Susan was awesome in this movie. She kind of had the most to do with like her kid and with dealing with the fact that she has to essentially be like a mother and also a superhero at points. And her whole like big scene at the end was really well handled too. And I like that she kind of also rallies the people together, the people of Earth together, to kind of fight against this entity, and not in the way that they believe is. She's convinced them to do the right thing and not do what the villain wants them to do, which I don't spoil anything. That's kind of how I'm going to be able to say it in those terms. Jesus Christ, dude. But yeah, it's a good movie. Or it's a decent movie. I liked it. I liked it just fine. That was fun. And the action's pretty solid. I wish Reed got to use his powers more. And I wish that the Thane's voice was more like the Thane in the other Fantastic Four movies. When I hear the Thane's voice, I think of Michael Chiklis in the original like 2000s Fantastic Four movies, like the whole you want to deal with me, punk, or like, hey, like this, like that, like New Jersey gravelly New York accent or Boston accent or something like that. Boston. I feel like that is a little more charming and likable for him. I feel like it's better, but he's fine. I like him. He's cool. I'll put this in B tier. Why not? C, I feel like is a little bit too low. I'll say B tier. B tier seems good so far. I think this is a good list so far. Okay. War of the Worlds. Holy shit. I watched this like 8 days ago or something with my brother. He was home for the holidays, and I was like, dude, I got some movies on my list from this year that I want to cross off. Do you want to watch something with me? And he was like, all right, what you got? And I was like, all right, I've got How to Train Your Dragon live action. I've got K-pop Demon Hunters. And he was like, oh, that sounds kind of fun. That sounds kind of stupid. Let's watch that. And I was like, all right. But then he was like, actually, what else do you got? And I was like, I have War of the Worlds starring Ice Cube. And he was like, oh, let's watch that. That sounds great. And I was like, okay, let's watch it. It is one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life, but also one of the best, because this movie is hilarious. Me and my brother were on the floor crying with laughter. It is, dude, it combines like the Unfriended, like sort of computer screen format of filming with like the War of the Worlds story mixed with like this government espionage shit. It is, oh my god, the characters and the dialogue and the acting from Ice Cube is hysterical. Every time his kid's in danger, or every time his kid's in danger, it looks like he's like confused, like what's happening? Like even his face in this poster too is like a good representation of that. Or when like they like beat the aliens, or when they do something that like gets them a one up against the government, he'll be like, hell yeah, like he just scored like his team just scored a touchdown or something. Oh my god, it's so good. And the character Mark in this movie, oh my god. You know what? I won't spoil much else for this film, but you should definitely watch it with some friends. Get drunk with your friends and watch it, or just like watch it with a friend or something. It is freaking hilarious. Don't get drunk. That's not encouraging alcohol use. Don't do that. But have fun and watch the movie. I'm gonna put this. It can only be F or S tier. It can only be F or S tier. But I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put F tier. I mean, it's oh Jesus. Okay, next, Weapons. Weapons is awesome. I'm gonna put this in an S tier as well. Good horror year. But yeah, Weapons was awesome. I absolutely love this movie. I think that it is a movie that I'm glad did well, and I want more movies like this to do well. I forgot this director's name, but he also made Barbarian, which was, I think this is better than Barbarian, to be honest, but I love the way he frames his horror movies with like this mix of like this kind of fun, like thrilling popcorn horror with like some actually freaky as shit moments, and also some comedy interspersed in there. This movie is really funny. I do like the cop character and the drug addict character. They're all really funny. I like the way that he frames the whole you watch someone's perspective and then another person's perspective and another person's perspective. That like slowly gives you more information about the mystery that's happening in this town where these kids are like disappeared. And the whole mystery is very, very like, whoa, I did not expect that shit. It goes deeper than you probably think. It's awesome. Great movie. Hilarious at points. Freaky as shit at points. My theater was like simultaneously laughing really hard, but also like just gasping at some like crazy shit that was happening. It was beautiful. I love this movie. It was great. Go watch it. Julia Garner kills it in it. Josh Brolin's hilarious in it. I think that the lady, well, I won't spoil that part too, but I think the kid in this movie is good as well. The main kid. It's awesome. Go watch it. The supernatural element's really interesting too. They're really fun. I like them a lot. Then we have One Battle After Another. Another big cultural movie this year. And I'm going to give it an A tier. I think it deserves it. I think it's a great movie. The first 20 minutes of this movie suck because of one character who is garbage. And I won't spoil who that character. I won't spoil anything about this movie. I won't spoil who that character is, but she is atrocious. She's a shit person. I don't care about her at all. She's unreasonable. She's not interesting. She sucks. Once she leaves the story really early on, the rest of the film is incredible. It is hilarious, it's riveting, it's thrilling, it's got good action. And Leonardo DiCaprio is so funny in this movie. The whole phone call scene, hilarious. Benicio del Toro is awesome in it. I love Sean Penn. Dude, Sean Penn is just one of the best actors I've ever seen. Every single movie I've seen him in, he is so damn good. And he plays this like psycho border colonel, or I guess is he ICE? I feel like I don't know if he like works for I guess he is an ICE commander. I don't know the ranks in this movie, but whatever. Hysterical. And the whole scene where the rich white dudes are like talking around the table is, oh my god, it could be offensive to a lot of people. It really could be offensive to a lot of people. But it is really funny. It's making fun of this situation in a way that's kind of like Black Klansman, which is the best way to do it. It was great. It was hilarious. I was riveted from pretty much close to start to the finish. Characters are great. The whole struggle was awesome. The whole conflict is really good. I think that it's just a great movie at the theater. It's not saying as much as I think people are thinking it is. I know people are acting like this is like a huge political movie this year, but I don't really think it's saying anything that like you don't already know or think. Even if you don't like agree with certain things in the movie, then like I don't know, it's not like trying to be as like change your mind on something as I think people are letting it on to be. It's just great, and it's making fun of things that should be made fun of. So whatever, you know. I don't think it's like a propaganda movie or some bullshit, as these people have insinuated. I think it's kind of stupid and silly. But it's great. Go watch it. It's awesome. This movie, let me count it down. Okay, I watched this movie with my mom. I was home for Thanksgiving break, and I was like, "What are you watching?" And she was like, "This movie with Keira Knightley in it." And I was like, what? And I started watching it with her, and it's not very good. I don't know what she was watching. I watched it again with her. It's super stupid. There's a scene where Keira Knightley, and she's pretty good in the movie, by the way. And the whole like, it's kind of like a mix of like a like not corporate. It's like a who took the money sort of plot, mixed with like a murder mystery and like Death on the Nile sort of, with the setting being mostly on a boat. The villain is so cartoonish. He just wants money, and the ways he tries to get it is really stupid. I won't spoil it, I guess, if you don't want to spoil it. I guess I will. It's movies. No one's seen this shit. The whole scene where he decides to like basically prop up this lady and disguise her as the person that the lady he killed just to like get her finances is really, it's incredibly stupid. How would no one recognize this lady as who she is? And then Keira Knightley also jumps off a fucking boat in like Norwegian like ice cold waters, swims to shore, and then finds a fucking shack with a sweater and a fire in it. Like what the hell was that? That was so stupid. You can't, no, that just does not happen. Those waters are, you're gonna get hypothermia in like a couple minutes, whatever. It's also stupid that like when she goes up to stop the whole speech from happening, all the people in the audience like, let her talk. It's like, you're gonna let this crazy, from their perspective, this like crazy reporter lady just like make your claim about something. Like what? No, they wouldn't allow this. Also, why would you invite an investigative reporter onto your yacht if you plan to fucking kill somebody? It's so stupid. I'm gonna give like a D tier. There's worse. It looks okay. They could be worse. It's like D tier though. It's like bottom D tier. Sorry. Okay. Frankenstein. This movie is awesome. I'm gonna give it S tier as well. I think this movie is probably like top 2 or 3 of the year for me. I thought that this film was just excellent. I don't really know what. I think there's a little bit of controversy with the way in which Guillermo decides to like kind of twist the narrative of the original Frankenstein story a bit, with like it being a little bit more supernatural, a little bit more fantastical, kind of slightly whimsical. I liked it though. I think that Jacob Elordi is just unrecognizable as Frankenstein. Looks great. The effects are awesome, except for the whole CG. I don't like that the animals are CG. That shit looked kind of weird. Other than that, though, this movie was shot beautifully. The colors and just the castle and the lab and the forest and areas and the whole ice caps scene where like the main story is taking place, when they're narrating the story, looked gorgeous. Probably the best looking movie of the year, if I'm being honest. It looked incredible. I think that Oscar Isaac is really great and compelling as Victor, and I liked all the acting for the most part. I think that the story is really good and engaging. The dialogue is incredible to me, at least. There are so many great lines in this movie that are just like, ooh, great philosophically, that just are great. I think they're probably pulled from the original book, maybe, or just like interpreted from there, but still, great movie. I like the way it's framed with like Victor's tale and also Frankenstein's tale. It's very, 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 very good. The effects are good. I like the way Frankenstein looks. I like it all makes sense, and the ending is really great. I love the ending of this movie. I think the ending is really, really strong and really emotionally grabbing, wrenching, gut wrenching. Go watch it. I watched this with my mom. This passes the mom test. And Mission Impossible passes the go with like a fuck load of people test. So I go watch it. Wake Up Dead Man. I saw this with a bunch of people over at a small theater in Ranch Mart in KC. And for the Lynch showing, I'm glad I did, because you should go to the theater still. Go to the theater. Don't give money. Don't watch it on Netflix. Or you can if you want, but like, you know, go to the theater. Support this movie theatrically, because I want more movies in the theater. Anyway, great movie. Wake Up Dead Man is probably my second favorite Knives Out movie behind the original. It's way better than the second one. The second one was kind of whack. I did not think the second one was all that great. This one, though, was a nice return to form. I think the directing's great. It looks great. The characters are really funny. Josh Brolin is hilarious in this movie, and so is the guy who plays what's his name? Shoot, the guy who plays Psy. He's really funny in this movie. I love his like political ventures into like trying to become like a political podcaster are hilarious. I love that. Love those scenes. The mystery verges a little bit on being too ridiculous and kind of like extremely convoluted towards the end at bits. It's going for that cheesy whodunit tone, which definitely works. I fully am in support of that, but there's a point where it verges a little bit too much on the cheese, and the balance between that and the seriousness of the murder is a little bit unbalanced. But either way, great. Josh O'Connor, I think he's one of my favorite main characters in a Knives Out movie. I like his drive. I like his character. He's really compelling, very interesting. I think he's really believable and really likable in this role. It makes sense as to what he does in the film. He's just a likable dude. I like him in this movie. I think his rapport with Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc are as great as well. And I hope that Rian Johnson continues making these movies, because they're really fun to watch, and they're great. I'll put this one in A tier. It's great. Go watch it. If you want a good Knives Out mystery, go watch it. Avatar, Fire and Ash. I saw this film with like 7 or 6 people, and it was pretty good. It's definitely just kind of feels like an Avatar sequel. I wish the story and the characters weren't so cheesy and like stereotypical, and I wish you couldn't see the plot coming from like a mile away. And I do kind of wish it was different from the second movie, because I don't think it doesn't really do that much to distinguish itself from that film. But I mean, you're gonna Avatar for the visuals, the action, and just the spectacle of it all. And as that, I mean, I can't fault it. It's absolutely insane how goddamn good this movie looks at everything, the fire and the action and all that stuff. The acting is corny for the most part, I think, but there's some good physical performances in there. Quaritch, I love Quaritch as kind of like this machismo, like, oh fuck the environment, fuck you, Jake Sully. Like, I like him as this character. He's fun, but it's getting to a point, and he's not dead. He's totally not. I'm gonna spoil it, kind of, but he's totally not dead. Shut up if you think he is. They're just gonna resurrect him in some way. I guarantee it. If he's dead, that'd be really weird. But they got just like else than man. They're probably gonna have it so that he like turns good in some way, or like fights with Jake at one point. If they get a fifth movie in, because they might not, but they probably will. 4 and 5 will probably happen. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. It was fun to watch. It was a great time with my buddies. I like that all of us kind of had a different opinion of how it was. Some people thought that this was better than the second movie. Some thought it was worse. I think it's the weakest Avatar movie, but I still liked it. I thought that was solid. I'd probably give like a B tier. It's good. It's good. I mean, if you want to go have like a cool theater experience, I'd go watch it. It's good. Okay, and the last movie, the movie that came out most recently that I saw was Marty Supreme, which was incredible. Another S tier. That's a stacked year. This movie is an exercise in uncapped tension. If you watched Uncut Gems, and you liked it, you're gonna feel right at home watching this movie. Although I think this movie's better than Uncut Gems. I think that the main character's plight, like his story, his drive, his motivation, is more compelling, more interesting, and more like relatable a little bit. And I think that the balance between like all the different plot lines is a little bit more refined in this movie. I think that Josh did a great job balancing the different people in Marty's life that are trying to like keep him from his goal. I think this film was awesome. I think this film was so nail-bitingly intense. In my theater, people were laughing at some. This movie's got some great bits of dialogue that are really funny, but people were like, oh shit, gasping when like scenes where there was an intense scene or something big happened. They'd be like, and then I heard people be like, oh no, when like sad shit was revealed. Oh, it was so beautiful. I love that. I love the theater experience. People still value that shit, and that's awesome to see. And I mean, good God, people have been kind of getting annoyed at the fact that Timothée Chalamet has been like sort of bestowing this goal upon himself to like become the best actor ever. Because he thinks he's capable of becoming that as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. And yeah, it's kind of pompous and a little bit like, I can see why people would be annoyed by that, but I see no reason to doubt him. He is electric in this movie. He's likable. He's not likable. He's a piece of crap in the movie, but his drive and the way that he's still endearing to you. You still want him to succeed despite his extreme faults. Kind of like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. You gotta get the right actor for these roles, and I think that he's done it twice with these movies. Josh has. This movie was so good, and the final scene was so like the final competition scene. The last scene where he goes to the hospital was an emotional like triumph in this movie. It's so good, and it's pretty uncomfortable at points. Yes, when I saw it I saw it with a few people, like 5 people, and people were people are mixed on it. Some were just like down the middle. Some did not like it. Some liked it a lot, like I did. I definitely liked it the most out of them. I was just floored by this film. It was, man, the acting's great. There's not much that I dislike about it. I think it's probably my second. I don't know. I'm trying to rank these four here. I think Weapons is probably the weakest of these, but either way, Mari Supreme was great. An interesting holiday movie for sure. The only thing I didn't like, honestly, in this film. Okay, by the way, one thing I will say, one thing to praise is the acting from like the guest actors. I'll call them kind of like Tyler the Creator is in this movie. He's hilarious. He's great. Fucking Mr. Wonderful is in this movie. Kevin O'Leary is in this movie. And yeah, he's kind of playing a character you'd expect him to play, this like corporate rich guy. But he's hateable. I like him in this movie a lot. I think he's great. I like him in this movie quite a bit. He works very, very well in this film. Good casting in that department. But Jesus Christ. There are some scenes where it is just... It's kind of like Breaking Bad in the way where, like seasons 4 and 5 Breaking Bad, where it's not just like make you nervous, it like breaks your nerves. There is not a moment to breathe, just like Uncut Gems. Only it's just done better here, I think. Go watch this film. It's great. I'm gonna rank these four right here. It's tough to rank them. It really is tough to rank these four. I feel like Frankenstein's still my favorite. Brain Her Back's probably 2 or 3. I'd say like this. I'll rate these 4 S tiers. I'd say these are like my top. These are like my top big dogs of the year that you should definitely go watch. I could also do some shows. I feel like we're kind of out of time though. I don't really want to do. You know what? Actually, how long am I recording this? It's been an hour. Jesus Christ. You know what? We'll go ahead and do them. Okay, we're also gonna do a couple TV shows. I'll try to go through these a little bit quickly. I know that one of these you're just kind of raising your eyebrow at already, but I'll get into what I'm talking about in a second. But all right, Last of Us, D tier. This season was really stupid. I don't understand why they decided to do what they did with certain characters. I think that I haven't played Last of Us 2, like the game, but I've watched the entire thing, and it's really stupid that they make Ellie like less of a bloodthirsty maniac, because you kind of need that to make the theme of like the shit repeating, like the violence that she saw Joel do repeat. That's what the tragedy of the story is, that just like Joel didn't want, she becomes what Joel did in the film. Or in the show. I don't know why she's like sympathetic and like less revengeful than she usually is. Like the scene where she finds out Dina's pregnant in the game, she's like, "What the fuck? Why'd you even come?" Instead in this show, she's like, "Whoa, that's awesome!" Like, what? It's so weird. This character would not react in that way. I also can't believe that they decided to reveal that the reason why Abby killed Joel, the reason that she kills him is literally shown in the first episode, the first scene. That's the whole mystery of you don't know why she kills Joel until later. It's so stupid. The pacing's bad. The whole middle section's stupid. The whole like factions that are in Seattle are not explained very well. They're just kind of like in there. They're just there. You don't care about them. It's just so much worse than the first season. I mean, I don't even think the second game was bad. They just did not do the second season justice in this show. That's all I'll say. All right, Invincible. I like it. It's a good show. It's just got some problems. I think that this 4th season really has to give something new for Mark to do. He's kind of had the same like I don't want to kill people sort of storyline for like 2 seasons, and I mean, I like Adam Eve. I like Cecil. I like Alan. There's some good characters here, but I don't think that they bounced. Each episode wasn't as compelling as the last. I know this came out like in March. I can't remember what happened, but I think it kind of peaks in the finale. The finale is freaking white-knuckled and bloody as shit, and I hope that we get to see more of Conquest. He's awesome. That's kind of it, though. I feel like this show, I guess the animation could be better. I don't really care, though. Some characters and some plotlines are really just boring that I don't really care for and kind of predictable, and not as like much of like a riff on superheroes. I want it's not as much of like not as different against like normal superhero tropes that I want it to be. But yeah, it's a good show. I just think it's not like a phenomenal show. That's kind of it. I'll put it in for right now. I'll put this newest season. I'll put it in like B tier. It was fine. Severance, S tier. Go watch it. It's amazing. It took me a while to watch it because it's on Apple, but go watch it right now. It is incredible. This new season as well. I think the first season, the first season a little bit stronger than the second season, a little bit, because the mystery is so good. But I had never seen a show like it. I'm not gonna say anything else about it. Maybe I'll make a video on it if you guys really want me to, but there's a lot I could talk about. But just go watch it. Trust me, it's the best show of the last like 5 fucking years. It's amazing. Go watch it. That's I'll talk about it a little bit more. I watched Attack on Titan with a friend of mine because I figured it was time. I usually like to have like one anime I'm like kind of taking a while to finish as I'm watching other shit, because usually it's kind of doesn't really require, like a shonen doesn't really require as much like critical thought as other shows do. This one definitely does require a lot more though, so I kind of had to like be dialed in when watching it. Because it's just so wacky and complicated. And everyone was praising this show as like the best show ever made. It's like the greatest show ever made. It's the best anime of all time. And everyone talked about how the ending was disappointing when it came out. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't really. I wanted to wait for the hype to be died down and watch it on my own accord. And it's great. It's a great show. I don't really think that. I think that for the most part, seasons 1 and 3 are probably my favorite, mostly because of the fact, probably season 1 is my favorite, mostly because it doesn't really, the narrative is a little bit more self-contained, and the normal, pure Titans are actually kind of threatening, unlike the newer seasons where it's just like a whole bunch of like giant Titans of the Nine that are like more important. There's a lot of character shifting around. I like Eren. I don't like him as a person when he turns, but I mean, it makes sense. Doesn't surprise me. And the only thing I really kind of hated in this show was at points where it takes way too long for them to explain stuff, so it makes the scenes where like something, why did that just happen? It makes those scenes not make sense till like a season and a half later, and then you're like, oh, I guess it makes sense. I guess rewatching would probably make it a little bit stronger. The only thing I hate, really, the only thing I absolutely, other than like, Gabi sucks and so does Flock. Those characters are trash. Fuck those people. They're annoying. Other than that, the time travel, it's not really time travel, but like the traveling through memories using the Attack Titan's power is so dumb. Time travel just automatically makes the story make less sense. And I guess when me and my friend watched it, we kind of thought the only way it would make sense is if essentially once the show ends, there are no more Titans. There are no more Titans that could go back and change and alter Eren's memories to make him do something else to change the future after him, to keep away from that infinite loop that would destroy the show. And thankfully that is the route they go, but it still just feels like such a cop-out. Like, why did this show it didn't need to do that. I kind of thought that what was going to happen was he was going to have to, like, sacrifice Historia because Zeke dies or something like that. I'm getting way too far into it. I'm running out of time. This video is so long. But the ending as well, the final episode was, like, pretty good. I think that the whole twist around like love and attachment is pretty good. I think it's a strong way to end it. It's different than I expected, I guess. I liked it, and it gives Mikasa more of like a better stake in the story than she did before. It's good. got great action. It's definitely big, emotional, and spectacle heavy. It's good. It's good. I get that other stuff you wouldn't like there's kind of shit that comes out of nowhere to save them in the finale that I get, but I'm gonna give the show A tier. Great show. It looks so weird. This is everything I watched in 2025. Oh, let me zoom out. This is everything. Where is it? This is everything I watched in 2025. Plus Attack on Titan for some reason. Yeah. What was your guys' favorite movie you saw this year? Or least favorite? Let me know. Go watch movies in the theater. Because I want more movies in the theater. Yeah. Bye.